is the I don't even like coffee, but I want to just
delicious.
smack them and take it from them and drink the whole thing.
French vanilla dream or something like that.
That's actually what Aaron smells like. If you smell Aaron, he's a French vanilla dream. Time to check in with Galvin. He's got today's news.
And now, news with Galvin on the Mike Calta Show.
What do we have in news today, Galvin? I know a little bit of it.
Yeah, of course, there was a horrible school shooting yesterday. It happened at Stoneman Douglas High School in Parkland, Florida, and 17 people were killed. Looks like 18 now because Aaron Feast, an assistant football coach and security guard, has died after being wounded in the deadly mass shooting. That makes it one of the 10 deadliest mass shootings in the U.S. history and the fourth deadliest school shooting. It's also already the 18th school shooting in America in 2018.
Yeah.
And it's only February.
18. No, I'm saying surprised they were going to say in like the last year or whatever.
No, yeah, this year.
Yeah.
This year,
That's
since
crazy.
January.
You know, I saw a psychiatrist on TV this morning, and they were like, is mental health getting worse? Is that why this is happening? And the guy's like, no, mental health's always been bad. The care for it gets worse. But the problem is a lot of these are copycat. They're copycat murders.
Yeah.
Because you saw one, you saw another one, you know what kind of impact that they have, and instead of just doing one thing where they shoot someone or shoot themselves or whoever they're angry at, they copycat and they do a school shooting.
The shooter is a 19-year-old former student at the school named Nicholas Cruz. He was expelled from the school for disciplinary reasons, and according to the police, his social media history is, quote, very, very disturbing. He posted about guns and violence, talked about killing people with an AR-15, and posed with BB guns, shotguns, and knives. Other students have talked about how he was a loner. He used an AR-15 semi-automatic assault rifle yesterday, the same weapon that was used in Vegas and Texas church massacre last year, the Pulse shooting in Orlando in 2016, the San Bernardino attack in 2015, and at Sandy Hook in 2012. He may have pulled a fire alarm to draw kids out of class towards the end of the day and make the death toll as high as possible. He had multiple magazines with him, but a lot of the people thought the fire alarm was suspicious because there had already been a fire drill earlier that day. The shooter initially got away afterwards, maybe by blending in with other kids who were running away, but police quickly caught him, and now he's in custody. Here is actually Broward County Sheriff Scott Israel talking about the victims.
17 people lost their lives. 12 people within the building. 2 people just outside the building. 1 person out on Pine Island Road. And 2 people lost their lives in the hospital. There are people that are still undergoing surgery. And just pray for this city, school, the parents, the folks that lost their lives. It's a horrific, horrific day. As I said before, my triplets graduated from Stoneman Douglas High School, and it's just horrible, absolutely horrible. And
like you mentioned, some of the wounded were in the hospital. One of them was the assistant football coach and security guard who has now died. And then this is just an update now where we actually have the mugshot of the suspect, Nicholas Cruz, has been booked into Broward County Jail and is charged with 17 counts of premeditated murder.
Got crazy eyes and big ears.
Yeah.
They said, like you said, that there was the fire drill in the morning.
Right.
So when the fire alarm went off again, a lot of the teachers were like, hold up, because maybe something set it off.
Yeah.
I got to sneeze.
Oh,
Bless you.
As I call it, droid sneeze. Sound like R2's friend. And then they heard an announcement, said Code Red, and Code Red was active shooter. So they knew, a lot of the teachers knew.
Did you see, I mean, there was all kind of different footage, but did you see from inside the room when the teacher's talking and the SWAT team put their hands up, and there's one kid, and he puts his hands up, and he's going like this, like shaking.
Sure. I mean, when's the last time you saw a guy come in and point a machine gun at you?
Yeah, and he says, they say, phone's off, put your phone down, and then the phone shuts off there.
Yeah, it's a horrible situation, not only to think about these poor people that died and that were wounded yesterday, but everybody's thinking the same thing today. I got to send my kid to school today, and how do I know that it's not the next?
Oh, I
That's
talked to my son yesterday and said, I know that you probably think, oh, yeah, I know. But I said, anytime you go in anywhere, whether it be a movie theater or school or wherever, just look around, see what way you can get out the fastest. And I go, I got to tell you, anything goes down, run.
Yeah,
man.
I said, don't try and be a hero. You're not going to stop a gun. Run, get out of there, call 911.
Yeah.
You know, ugh.
Community has to go through now for the next 6 months.
Oh,
All these people.
years.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying, like, the immediate impact of the families that have to now bury their child, that have to figure out how to move on with their lives, the other kids having to cope with losing so many friends and
Right.
people in their school. I was watching it live. I was listening to Drew yesterday, and Drew came back from break, and he said, there's an update. I got the thing on my phone said active shooter, but a lot of times I get updates on my phone, and it turns out there was nothing. So I didn't bother. So I was listening to Drew, and then when Drew came back, and he was pretty somber, and he said, he started talking about the school and where it is. I'm like, I got to flip on the TV now. So I flipped on the TV, and I started watching it, and they were showing from the campus. They hadn't really figured out what was going on yet. They had somebody in custody. He interviewed one lady on Fox News, and she was like, she had a kid. She came to pick up her kids. She's like, I have 2 kids. One's home safe. He was at the bank. And the other one, is inside. He's texting me, but they said they're going to let him out. And she goes, and what did he say? He said that they knew who the shooter was. They saw him in the hallways. He's the guy that they expected. It was Nicholas Kuda, and the guy pulled the microphone away. And he was like, we don't want to announce it until the police announce it. So let's not say that. So they already knew.
Yeah.
They already knew from the get-go who it was, but they had to he had also had some stuff on his Facebook or his YouTube where he was watching how to make a bomb.
Yeah, I saw that.
And they were worried that he might have planted some bombs on the school. So that's what took so long for them to clear the school.
Yeah.
Such a horrible, weird situation. In this case, this kid had no parents. His mother died in November, so I'm assuming they both died.
Yeah, the way that it said that he was adopted and both his parents had died. So
Okay.
I don't know whether...
Well, his mother died in November, and he was living with friends. But I was going to say, if you're a parent, you really gotta monitor your kid's social media.
Oh,
you gotta
yeah.
look at it. The minute I look down at my kids start, with the guns and the animals, you gotta go have a conversation with them.
Sure.
But in this case, they had nobody watching the kid.
Yeah. Colorado teacher has been charged with child abuse and third-degree assault after allegedly assaulting a student for not standing for the Pledge of Allegiance. Karen Smith, who has been employed at the Boulder Valley School District for 20 years as a physical education teacher, was placed on paid leave on February 1st after she was accused of forcibly lifting a student to his feet by his jacket when he refused to stand for the pledge. That student, who has not been named because he's a minor, was then removed from the classroom by Smith.
Yeah, you can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do
No.
that. Mind your own business is what I say. I don't like it. I don't like when people are disrespectful, and if it's somebody that I know, I may want to go, hey, you should probably stand up for this, but if they don't, I'm not about to drag them. I can only worry about myself.
Whatever happened to just make a mental note, and then later, when you can get them back, that's when you do it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Or, talk to their parents or hey, he's not standing, or what do we do? Coach?
I don't know. I like her approach.
Oh, yeah? Someone just found a lock of George Washington's actual hair
How do we know?
in an old book. I believe they did DNA testing on it. I don't know.
How do we have George?
Is-
Yeah, you
Wouldn't in a college library in New York. There's a handwritten inscription identifying it as Washington's hair, and another inscription that says the book belonged to someone who was a known family friend of the Washingtons. Here is a picture. There's the book and stuff down front there. You can see where that piece of paper is. That's where the hair is laying on that. So
I call shenanigans.
I don't know. What's weird to me is that some old family friend has just kept a lock of their dead friend's hair for years. Like, I wouldn't. I mean, I love you
president.
guys. Yeah, but
You
like,
got gorgeous hair.
I worship you, Michael, and I wouldn't save your hair and put
Yes,
it
you
in a
would.
book. I mean,
Yeah.
I
You
have
would
a
only put it in a
shrine,
book in
but-
your house.
Yeah, and I wouldn't put it in a book and give it to somebody. That's ridiculous.
Are you
Well,
saying
yeah.
he doesn't have enough hair to save?
Maybe
they put it in a book, and then when they died, it got, let's give these books to the
Taken away.
library, and then, by the way, not a very popular book. They didn't find it until now.
Right?
Amazon says sex toys are being mailed to strangers and they don't know how to stop it. Unsolicited parcels have been turning up at homes around the U.S. and Canada over the past few weeks, some containing random gifts like Bluetooth speakers, LED lights, or a computer, vacuum cleaner. But now the mystery has taken an X-rated turn, with Amazon confirming that increasingly the items include sex toys.
Yeah.
Some, including 2 former Amazon workers, spoke to the Boston Globe. They believe the trend is part of an international Amazon scam. The technique, known as verified review hacking, could involve sellers setting up dummy accounts to buy and ship their own products to strangers. Those fake accounts then could give the product a 5 view, which in turn would help it surface higher in Amazon and Google searches.
Oh.
So if I own a dildo company, I'm just sending dildos to everyone, and then I go under 5 stars.
Both ends were great.
Yeah. It worked every way. Sideways even.
I thought this was like some type of Robin Hood story where somebody was just sending gifts to people through Amazon's website.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
It's March.
Brother.
She's upset, though. The state isn't taking her seriously.
Well, yeah.
So now she is suing California to make the state recognize that Bigfoot exists and classify him as a species. She has a court hearing next month.
It's
Okay,
too hot in California.
And she's crazy. But can we really just stop for a second and look at this? Bigfoot is a prehistoric man or an alien or what?
Some
What
type
do you
of,
think it is?
I
Isn't
would
it like the
say-
missing link, right?
Yeah, I would say it's some sort of in-between ape and man type thing that...
And the best name we can come up with for it is Bigfoot.
Got big feet.
got big feet?
Yeah.
It's got big everything.
Yeah,
Or they call it
you
big
know,
head.
yeah.
Because they saw
Big,
a
big.
footprint, and they're like, that's
Whoa.
a big foot.
I don't want to get angry.
Yeah. Oh.
That's exactly what happened. Saw a footprint, goes, that's
What
a
is
big,
this?
That's a big foot. And the guy goes, did you say that's Bigfoot? Yeah.
Yep.
Who's that?
That's a Bigfoot.
He lives out here.
Can we
Loves,
just
loves beef jerky.
yeah, Jack Link's beef jerky. Can we just take a second to admire this woman's dedication to take it to the court level?
Yeah.
Of how crazy bonkers she is.
You gotta-
She's like, I'm gonna double down on this.
Let me ask you something, Claudia. Everything else in your life done? Like you did your taxes, right?
yeah.
Your house is clean.
What if she really saw Bigfoot?
Your
Boy.
kids are going. I told you that I thought I saw him when I was in when I lived in Kentucky for a little while. I was in Louisville, Kentucky, and as I drove to work, there was areas where it was very wooded areas off to the side, and I was driving and I wasn't really paying attention to stuff on the side of the road because early in the morning, not a lot going on.
Right.
And then all of a sudden I was like, whoa, what was that? And I swear it was just like a big, hairy thing. And I was like,
See, I believe you
I
saw
don't
Bigfoot.
know what that was. I mean, it could have been a bear. It could have been moss from a tree. But in my head, I was like, that looked like Bigfoot.
Could have been B.B. King.
Could have been B.B. King.
You don't know.
In a ghillie
Wearing
suit.
a wig.
Yeah.
Wearing a ghillie suit. That's a possibility, but I don't know. Could Bigfoot be real? Yes.
No.
Yeah. What do you mean no? There's no way.
There's no scientific proof that there is a missing link between apes and man. And if they are, how many are there? Is there 2? And do they live forever?
But you believe in aliens. You believe that there's possibly
Right.
aliens.
Yeah, but there's been more scientific proof of aliens.
Scientific proof where?
Well, the science around it, the fact that there is an infinite amount of space, and the thought that we can't be the only living beings here, that there has to be somebody else out there,
Yeah, but
and then proof of life on other planets.
There's creatures that they're discovering all the
Yeah.
time.
Ancient
you know?
civilizations they're uncovering.
Yeah, there's all kind of stuff. There's places in the world right now where no human has ever stepped.
Yeah,
Right.
crazy.
Right, but we know about them.
We don't know what's there,
Not
and
Bigfoot.
they're finding new species all the time.
Yeah, but there was usually microorganisms.
Usually,
Yeah.
but there would be a new spider.
Yeah.
there
So
could be
we found
new
a bunch of new
monkey.
microorganisms and insects. Then one day we found an 8-foot
Ooh,
ape man.
yeah. A
There could
big
be
organism.
there could be a whole bunch of monkeys that we don't even know about.
I,
They live
I,
so-
I'm going to go on record as saying hogwash.
No,
All right.
no.
Well, we'll see. 33-year-old guy named Kenneth Schutz Jr. got pulled over in Minnesota last week. Minnesota. He had a revoked license, plus he had a little bit of weed on him. So he took off running. And he actually got away from the cops. There was just one problem. It's in Minnesota, and it was minus 8 degrees outside. Kenneth ran into a swamp to hide, so less than an hour later, he wound up calling the cops on himself.
To beat a weed charge?
He said he couldn't feel his legs in the cold, so he couldn't walk, and he needed them to come and rescue him. They tracked him down to the frozen swamp and took him to the hospital. Once he got all the feeling back in his legs, he was arrested. We have a picture of Kenneth up on Bone TV there. Too cold, man. It is too cold for Kenneth.
Yeah, he's turning into Hannibal Buress.
Yeah. Does look a little bit like him. A 32-year-old man just flew into Portugal from Brazil, but when he landed in the airport, some agents realized there was something going on. He was under investigation for drug trafficking. And they didn't have to work too hard because they checked out his booty. It was voluptuous. The agents searched the guy and found that he was wearing 2 fake butt cheeks.
Yeah.
Each one of them had over a pound of cocaine inside. He was arrested for drug trafficking. We actually have the coke butt.
Coke butt.
I want to see him with it on.
Yeah, they don't have it with it on. They just have it sitting there in his
So ridiculous.
looks like shorts or something.
They look like shorts, yeah.
Carmen, who's on line 1?
Oh, Sasquatch?
Or Sasquatch?
I have no... Just use a normal name. That guy sucks.
Well, do you know what a Sasquatch is?
Yeah.
What is it?
It's like a creature, like Bigfoot is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
But, I mean, like, that's not his name. He's an idiot. That guy sucks.
Whoa.
We know what his name is. We just talked about it. It's Bigfoot.
No.
Not even Big Feet. Bigfoot.
Bigfoot.
Yeah.
One.
But that's not him.
Okay.
There is a radio DJ named Patrick Connor. He got fired yesterday because he said he was sexually attracted to Chloe Kim, the Olympian.
Yeah.
She is a 17-year-old high school student.
So what?
Well, he said he was starting the countdown because her birthday is in April.
Okay, so he stole an old bit from the Olsen twins.
Exactly. Here is the guy talking, and you can tell the guy really, he's on a sports station, but he really wants to be shock.
Yeah.
But here's what he had to say, and tell me whether you think this guy should have got fired.
Me personally, I'm on Twitter, Khloe Kim. I'm thinking Khloe Kardashian, Kim. I don't want to deal with that. So I missed out on the whole Khloe.
Famous for riding a very different board than Kim Kardashian.
There you go.
No doubt. And in fact, just to keep it on that tip, her 18th birthday is April 23rd, and the countdown is on, baby, because I got my Wooderson going. That's what I like about them high school girls. Man, she's fine.
I love it, Pete. I'm right there with you.
She's fine as hell. If she was 18, you wouldn't be ashamed to say that she's a little hot piece of ass.
She's
And
cute.
she is. She is adorable. I'm a huge Chloe Kim fan.
I had to look up to see because they said radio DJ, and I'm like, did they mean podcaster?
Yeah, right.
Because that's so bad. But no, it was actually on radio in San Francisco. It's a Cumulus station.
Oh, no.
And he has been fired.
The mornings?
I don't know that. Doesn't say whether he was mornings or not.
I feel like if he just would have said, I'm kidding, at the end of that whole terrible rant, he could have saved himself from
I
getting
feel
fired.
like he should just not work in radio.
Well,
Yeah,
Chloe
I
Kim is
agreed.
hot. She doesn't look like she's 17. She's a national figure right now, and it's okay to say that you're attracted to her. Now, if he said, I want to go over there and do things to her and got in detail, then they should have fired him. But the guy just said that he was attracted to her, and there's nothing wrong with that.
And
now,
she's-
the way in which he did it with that horrible radio, that should have got him fired.
Yeah, but I mean, she's 17 and she's going to be 18 in April.
Right.
So
who
it's not
cares
even-
about that?
Like,
How many times have we seen a 15-year-old girl and we're like, God damn, can't
What?
believe she's 15.
At least once
But
or
we've
twice.
done it a million times.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. It's
I
just-
think he was just mad, and they were like, he's really terrible. Next thing he does that's even close to anything, let's fire him.
Take your Wooderson and get out, sir.
Scientists who are trying to find alien life in outer space say
Ask
that
Sasquatch.
they can't get sophisticated computers they need. Why?
No funding.
No.
Because the computers are wrapped up doing something else.
Yeah, what are they doing, though?
Mining for Bitcoin is what I would say.
Goddamn right.
Is it
because
really?
of cryptocurrency miners are buying all the sophisticated computers, and the scientists can't figure out whether
That's
there's
funny.
aliens or not.
That's hilarious.
Keeping up with a self-proclaimed gold digger is very difficult to do. The guy from 90 Days Fiancé who just got busted for allegedly trying to sell tons of weed.
Wow.
Guy's
Which
name
guy?
is Jorge Nava, we have a picture of him up on Bone TV there. He met and married a Russian beauty on the TLC show last season. He was arrested last week in Arizona on multiple felony counts, including possession of marijuana for sale and transportation of marijuana for sale. He spent 2 days in jail before posting $25,000 bail. If convicted, Jorge could face up to 12 and a half years in prison.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, he went from buying a bitch to being somebody's bitch.
You got to make money for that Russian bride.
Uh-huh.
She needs new shoes, all kind of stuff. So the Charles in Charge saga continues. There was a press conference where Alexander Polinsky from Charles in Charge held a press conference. Nicole Eggert was there as well yesterday to talk about the accusations against Scott Baio. This is what they had to say. We have some video on Bone TV. Check this out. Here we go.
During the first year of the show, I was 11 or 12, I observed Scott with our co-star Nicole on his lap backstage. I was so naive, I innocently hopped on, expecting to hear a story about Fonzie or Happy Days. Telling us a story, Scott immediately threw me off him and began angrily calling me faggot, while Nicole laughed. I felt confusion, shame, and then fear when I realized I had judged the situation wrong. I was not innocent. It was sexual in nature. Scott Baio began a pattern of abuse that was unrelenting. Mr. Baio repeatedly told me about gay sex acts that he told me I would grow up to perform. At the same time, tried to convince me that I was unlovable, defective, and branding me with the most vulgar words for homosexuals that exist. Scott pulled down my pants in front of over 100 people. And on another time, he laughed as he cut a hole in the canvas wall of my private dressing room on set and exposed his genitals to me.
Whoa. Those are a lot of difference. Listen to this.
One of the most painful memories of my childhood was when Scott and I were backstage waiting to enter the set for a scene. I faked a basketball to him. He got startled, and in anger, he assaulted me by throwing a burning hot cup of tea in my face. I ran from the scene. Scott later apologized, but the abuse continued. Scott Baio told me I was never going to be loved by a woman in my life because I was so effeminate. These slurs became a running gag on set. Streams becomes hazing. And over longer periods of time becomes torture. Here's what I want. I want to finally put this behind me. I'm interested in healing for all of us. That includes Scott. I'm praying for him in all of this. I still have hope he can realize his wrongdoings, apologize publicly, and we can all have some healing. In truth, that is all on money, not revenge. Healing.
The new boy in the neighborhood lives downstairs and it's understood he's there just to take good care of me, like he's one of the family. Charles in charge of our days and our nights. Charles in charge of our wrongs and our rights. And I sing, I want Charles in charge of me.
Let me tell you something, what I think here. First of all, do you have any idea that kid was gay on the show?
No.
Kid was hilarious.
Yeah.
He was like the bad little brother.
Right.
You have to think, we're talking about what, the late 80s,
Yeah.
early 90s?
Yeah.
It was just a couple of years ago that we were saying certain words were socially acceptable. Maybe not homophobic words, but
Right.
the society changes and the times change. And back then, homosexuality was not as widely accepted as it is now. And it's not an excuse for that behavior. The kid definitely went through it. And Charles may owe him an apology for that. But it doesn't tie into the Nicole Eggert thing. And her sitting on his lap doesn't necessarily have to be sexual in nature. I think that this kid has not been heard from for years. He's overdramatic, and he's got a beef with the way Scott Baio reacted to him or treated him. And maybe Scott Baio owes him an apology, but he just picked the opportune time to do it.
Scott Baio cut a hole in the canvas thing and stuck his genitals.
Okay,
through
so
it.
nobody's done that. Yeah, like we've never.
No. He was a kid though.
He was, but how old of a kid?
He was a kid. He was like 12 or 13.
Yeah,
maybe.
So, I don't know. Listen, I know what you're saying. It's wrong. And if I found out that was my son, I'd be furious. Bust each other's balls. We all did. How many times you walk by? Not you, but I mean, like when I worked at the Power Pick, everybody was walking by and slapping each other in the sack, trying to. Hey,
I got pants numerous
pants.
times in high school in front of hundreds of kids.
That is a lot different than a 20-something-year-old sticking his junk through a hole into an 11-year-old kid's room.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
It's
if
not,
that's true, and we don't know
and
whether
if
that's true.
It's not right, but we know that Scott Baio is not gay, and he was just trying to be funny, and it was offensive, and maybe he owes this kid an apology.
Yeah,
but the kid seems really overdramatic.
I don't know.
Scott Baio, this kid has nothing going for him. Nobody's heard from him at all. And all of a sudden, he got a little bit of limelight last week when he came out and spoke for Nicole Eggert, and now he's got all these allegations and all these things.
Nicole Eggert was there, and she basically just went along with him and agreed with what he said and, kind of backed it up and stuff. So, I don't know. We'll see. I mean, obviously, if the statute of limitations aren't up to, find out what...
Probably not, and he doesn't. And he said he doesn't care about money, and he doesn't care about... anything else. He just wants to be involved in this.
Yeah, but it definitely could be. It doesn't have to be a lawsuit. It could be a criminal action.
Yeah, I don't think.
If there
prove
is,
that.
You know what I mean?
Prove any of that stuff.
Yeah.
There's no criminal action. This kid just wants to be heard. He just wants to be someone who gets some attention for a little while.
Yeah, I don't know. It's pretty weird. I have some new music for you.
Love new music.
All right. This person is famous, but not famous for singing.
Okay.
Okay, so when you think you know who this person is, go ahead and tell me. Here we go.
You bring my heart to life, make everything alright. I thank God you came to me.
Any guesses?
No, not yet.
Susan Sarandon.
Nope.
Every hour of the day.
Is this a Kardashian?
No, but you are along the lines of that.
Courtney Stodden?
No. You're along the right lines with Kardashian.
Is it a housewife of some kind?
No. Much closer with Kardashian.
Okay.
Kim Kardashian kind of got her start with this person.
Paris Hilton?
Oh.
Paris Hilton.
Really?
Yeah.
She's still hot?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Whoever's producing this album deserves the award. She sounds great.
She doesn't sound bad at all.
But
Doesn't sound...
Didn't she already
good.
try to have a music career?
She had an auto-tune song.
Yeah, she had one of those, kind of thing.
Tunes her song.
It was a real T-Pain joint.
So, yeah, there is new Paris Hilton. She releases... She really is, and she's going to be hot for a long time.
Yeah, for sure.
Wow.
Yeah.
It's a real shame.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, all that money and stuff.
I know.
Who would you
God
take,
damn
Kim
it.
Kardashian or Paris Hilton?
Ooh.
I'm an ass guy, so I'll go Kim Kardashian.
I would either one. They're both beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
But I gotta tell you, it's funny. I don't usually go for blondes, but for some reason, there's something about Paris Hilton that I really like.
She's super sexy.
Yeah,
Yeah, I would take Kim Kardashian in a second.
yeah.
Kim Kardashian. Well, this is not going to work with you because you already said. But I would say Kim Kardashian or J-Lo, but I know you go right J-Lo.
Yeah, J-Lo.
All day.
Kim Kardashian for me.
I would push Kim Kardashian into any fire for J-Lo.
J-Lo or Gal Gadot.
Don't do that.
Ooh,
How would you do
I say
that?
J-Lo.
J-Lo or Gwen Stefani.
I hate you.
Gwen Stefani.
J-Lo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gwen Stefani or what is her name? Gloria from Modern Family. Sofia Vergara.
Sofia Vergara.
Gwen Stefani.
Oh yeah.
Gwen Stefani's almost at my top.
No, Sofia Vergara will cook for you after.
She'll yell at you.
Oh, that's the best. During,
She'll
hopefully.
mispronounce everything.
Manny.
Hang on, I gotta find out.
Gwen Stefani.
Or Gail Gadot.
Gwen Stefani could ask me. She can get anything she wanted from me if she just asked me the right way.
Yeah.
I have a question for you. Yep. Whatever you want.
Take my money, please.
Yes.
Yeah.
Gwen Stefani gets anything.
Gwen Stefani or Jane Lynch?
In a tracksuit or not?
Yes, both in tracksuits.
Easily Jane Lynch. I mean, come on, let's go.
I'm going to stick with Gwen because I like her.
To
She's
even
younger.
it out, I'll throw in 2 tracksuits for the Asian girls that dance behind you. Blake Griffin, the basketball player, his ex-girlfriend and baby mama is suing him for millions, saying he skipped out on their wedding and their kids and left her to go running around with Kendall Jenner.
Oh.
Wouldn't you? I'd leave her to go run around with Kendall Jenner.
He's not black enough for Kendall Jenner.
I don't know. Well, are they still together or no? Or were they even together?
I don't know.
They were dating.
Okay. Yeah, that's a thing.
Yeah.
Luke Wilson, we talked about this yesterday. Luke Wilson and golfer Bill Haas were involved in a fatal car accident Tuesday night. A Ferrari that Haas was a passenger in lost control and hit another car and also clipped Luke's SUV. The driver of the Ferrari was killed. Luke actually wound up helping a woman get free from one of the cars.
Oh, so he's all right?
Yeah, so he's okay. Yeah. He was an SUV that just kind of got clipped.
Why'd you say damage? You pick him up in the death pool?
Yeah.
Oh, did you really?
I was like, oh, we were talking about him yesterday, and you're like, oh, serious? He's in the hospital. I was like, yeah. Come on, Lukey, die. And now you're like, oh, he's helping other people. Maybe he'll die later from some injuries he didn't know he had, hopefully.
Oh, jeez.
I'm just saying, for some points.
Police in India want to talk to Pierce Brosnan about a commercial he filmed that promotes a product commonly associated with chewing tobacco. Tobacco advertising is illegal there. Police say if Pierce doesn't respond, he could face 2 years in prison or a $78 fine.
You try to get James Bond in prison.
Yeah,
see how that works out.
Metallica will receive the Polar Music Prize this spring. It's basically the Nobel Prize for music.
Wow, who's giving it out?
And recognizes international excellence. They'll also be receiving about $126,000, so they're doing something good with that. They're going to donate the money to their All Within My Hands organization, which helps communities in need with workforce education, food bank donations, and other local services. Previous winners of the award include Sting, Emmylou Harris, Chuck D. Paul Simon, Peter Gabriel, Pink Floyd, Bob Dylan, and Paul McCartney.
All in the same genre.
Yeah, totally. She thinks that President Trump's attorney broke their non-disclosure agreement the other day.
What does she know?
Talking about this
porn star.
So now she's free to talk.
Yeah.
Whether she has anything to say, I don't know.
Listen, Stormy Daniels, you're gonna get audited. You might have an accident on vacation.
Oh yeah, man. Be careful. Grand Wizard Jimmy Page says that there's still a bunch of Led Zeppelin stuff from vaults coming out, but the band is probably done for. In the interview, Page also reveals that there will be a brand new Led Zeppelin live album released at some point this year, and says he foresees that there will be a new Led Zeppelin product emerging over the next 10 years.
But no touring. New Led Zeppelin, he says, but no touring.
With Robert Plant, though.
Yeah, but I mean, that's Led Zeppelin.
With Robert Plant? I don't know.
Yeah, he said there'll be a new Led Zeppelin album, new material coming out, but that they're done touring.
I'll take it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're old. They don't need a tour.
I'll take it. I got to tell you, what was the what year was the O2 Arena thing that they did? 2007, so maybe like 10, 11 years ago?
They're due.
Was that what it was? They sounded fantastic. With Jason Bonham on drums, they sounded great.
That's fine. Do a couple of shows at O2, do one at Madison Square Garden, do a couple at the Staples Center or whatever LA outdoor arena, and that's it. You satisfy everybody's...
I got to tell you, Zeppelin does that. I have to try and fly somewhere to see Zeppelin. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah. NFL Hall of Famer Warren Sapp got served with a lawsuit in his battery for pretending to be a fan. Sapp is being sued by a woman who claims Sapp drunkenly bowled her over at a 2015 Super Bowl party in Arizona. She claims she suffered major injuries as a result. The woman's attorney had been trying to serve Sapp for more than a year, but couldn't quite track him down. They felt that he was, quote, actively avoiding the process server. So they sent a guy to a Sapp autograph session that he had been promoting, hoping Sapp would show up and they could finally slap him with the complaint and the summons to appear in court. So this is what happened. We have it up on.
I thought he didn't flick.
Yeah.
Take pictures of him.
I don't know, but that takes balls to walk up to Warren Sapp and be like, "Here you go."
He looks nervous as hell.
Please don't
punch me.
Oh my God.
I'm hoping to hell that obviously not Sapp because I know him, but I'm hoping to hell I give something to Michael Irving or somebody and he goes crazy on me.
Yeah.
I'll be like,
Yeah.
Thank you. You'll be getting mine next week.
So how much money do you have to make you happy, do you think?
Well, it changes as you get older.
Let's say average person. Let's go average person in America. How much money do they have to make per year for them to be happy?
$125,000 a year would make a family happy.
Okay. Carmen says no.
What do you say?
You can be happy with less.
Okay, how much?
85,000.
85,000. Spanish.
I go at least 100,000.
Okay, so you say 125. Carmen, you said 85.
Yep.
And you said what, Spanish?
At least 100.
100,000.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's for happy. All right. Now, what amount makes a person feel successful?
I mean, I'd say $1 million.
Yeah.
1 million.
Yeah.
A
1
year?
mil? 1 million.
I think
Spanish says 1 million.
Yes, sir.
I think 100,000 makes you feel successful.
100,000, Carmen says. Okay, so a study out of Purdue University in Indiana found that people are the happiest when they make between $60,000 and $75,000 a year. That lines up with what other studies have also found in the past, but these researchers took a little bit further, and they wanted to see how much money it took for people to feel more than happy. They looked at when people felt like they achieved their financial goals and they were successful. The answer to that is $95,000 a year. They found that when people made more than that, they actually made them less satisfied because they started wanting nicer things that they couldn't afford and would compare themselves to even richer people.
Yeah, because you're like right on the cusp of getting your Bugatti Veyron.
Yeah.
At what? At how much?
Because if you're making like
I want to remind everybody of a couple of things. One is that tomorrow night we will be at the Beach Club in Siesta Key drinking Budweisers and melting faces. Please come on out there and join us. And you may not make $100,000 a year. You may not make $85,000. Doesn't matter. You got $5, right? $5 you could literally scrape up from your change that you'll get going about the day today. $5 can win you a brand new 2018 Stingray Chevrolet Corvette giving away, all to benefit Unity in the community. $5 get your raffle ticket. You go to StingrayChevroletRaffle.com and you can get the raffle ticket there online, or you can go there to Stingray Chevrolet, exit 22 in Plant City, look at cars, buy a raffle ticket.
Torch Red.
Yeah, Torch Red. It's a Torch Red car. You can go see it at the Strawberry Festival in March, and on the last day of the Strawberry Festival, that is when they will give it away. So you got plenty of options to win a brand new Torch Red 2018 Stingray Chevrolet Corvette Grand Sport, courtesy of Steve Hurley. And do it now. Do it now. Get in. Do it in layers. Do it now and do it again at the Strawberry Festival.
Yeah, mix it up a
double,
little
triple
bit.
your chance. It is Thursday, and Galvin has a brand new open letter. He usually does them on Wednesday, but since we were so busy, a brand new open letter from Galvin is coming up next.
The Mike Calta Show on 102.5 The Bone. Now, another traffic update.
Brought to you by CC.